you want to succeed.
Big facts.
Look at him trying to pump up the energy. Honesty is the best policy, man. That's the only way real shit can grow.
Yeah.
You started recording already? All right, just
yeah.
Let me go grab my switch.
Oh, he needs to get the switch. He wasn't prepared. He wasn't prepared.
When is he ever?
I mean, it's cool that he's going to get prepared. Oh shit, the Xbox is on.
Yeah, like I said, I'm online, bro.
Dude, you better not be playing while we're recording the episode. Just because you're on the other side of Singapore now doesn't mean that
he started, ladies and gentlemen. He started.
doesn't mean
how many seconds before I can curse?
I think we've been past that, but I'd say wait till like a minute.
I wish I was in Singapore.
It's probably really nice over there right now.
In Singapore, I bet. I'm in fucking Green Bay, Wisconsin, bro.
It's okay.
The coldest place on earth.
that you should buy a cheese head while you're out there.
Hell no.
No, not for like, like souvenir purposes. Like, yeah, I went to this damn stadium and I bought a cheese head.
No, I didn't go to this. I'm not going to the stadium. You know what's crazy? Tomorrow, that's Valentine's Day for those who don't know.
We're recording this the day before Valentine's Day. Yeah,
today's the. But the episode drops like 2 days from now, so they don't know that. So Tuesday, Valentine's Day. Tuesday, yeah. The Bucks are playing the Celtics at home, and I want to go to the game. The issue is the game is 2 hours away. So after I get out of work, I'd have to drive 2 hours, watch the game till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night,
and then drive 2 hours back.
I'm not. So I guess I'm not going to the game.
No.
I guess
no. At like 21, 22, that might have been okay.
For sure.
But 30, 31,
no.
That's
do that.
Valuable sleep sleep time.
What? I need it, bro. I need it. I'm
very valuable sleep time.
I'm so exhausted. I've been on 10 all weekend, bro. I went to a wedding. I got my haircut from John. As you can see, I got the haircut from Johnny B.
It looks very nice.
Yeah, no, you really did me up, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. Got the cut from Johnny B.
You're still ugly, though. Sorry, John. You can't work, man.
Yeah, I got the mute niggas now. See, he didn't think I.
Oh, now you can mute.
Now I can mute motherfuckers.
Cursing.
And it's been a long weekend, basically. But you already know what time it is.
Volume, folks.
What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? It's your boy Macky OMO. I'm here with my good brothers. We got the Raging Discussing with the Clip and Johnny B. We also got Badman Forward, Badman Pull Up. Badman Forward, Badman Pull Up. Badman Forward, Badman Pull Up. Badman Pull Up. Badman Pull Up. Badman Shawny in the motherfucking building. And we are the Paradise Podcast. What the fuck is going on? Welcome to episode 75.
Sheesh.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the better intros that I got with no interruptions. I appreciate y'all. Let me get through that. As you can see, Chris Payne is not here with us because he is in Mexico and niggas is calling me rich. I'm in fucking Green Bay. He's in Mexico having a blast.
Green Bay,
so it's gonna be the three of us. And I believe I'm going to pass the mic over to Shawny because he is going to be introducing our topic for today.
No, not
you're ahead of the game, sir.
Today is not
Shawny's
topic. Yeah,
that's next week.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pass it over to
you're gonna spoil next week's episode for them. Don't do that. It's bad enough you spoil One Piece for me. We don't need you spoiling the episodes for the audience now. Oh no!
There we go.
It's okay.
Wait, did everyone see the most recent episode of
the show?
It's okay, motherfucker. I don't care.
Yeah. To be continued next week.
No, not the most recent, but I'm almost there.
What
I'm
episode
one
are you on?
behind.
You seen episode 3?
I saw the third one. Yeah. Okay, we're not talking about it.
Yeah.
So
Tune in next week for the
so there were a few things that kind of like got an idea for something I wanted to ask you guys here on the pod. And one of the things that happened recently, Sony had released their version of like a pro controller, basically. So they released the DualSense Edge, which is their answer to Xbox's Elite controller. So imagine like a really expensive, like souped up version of the normal controller that comes with your console. And I was just looking at the features on that and just noticing different things. And I also noticed that controller conversation came up again recently with the release of GoldenEye. 007 came out. Me and Sirmata got a chance to play GoldenEye recently
On the Xbox?
because it's on Game Pass and it's also on Nintendo Switch Online. But there's a really big difference between those two versions. So if you played on the Xbox, they went ahead and they made updated controls for the Xbox controller. So when you're playing on Xbox, it plays with the twin stick, setup where you're using your camera stick and your other analog stick to move around and stuff. And obviously it's an N64 game, so it's not going to be like the prettiest looking thing, but it controls pretty okay for an N64 title. But the controls are not bad. And the Nintendo Switch version, they have they have it as like this weird configuration where Nintendo basically has it as the original N64 controller layout. The original N64 controller only had the A and B button, and it had 4 directional buttons on the right side. So 4 like camera buttons basically that would control the camera, and different games use those or those yellow buttons for different things. So to use those directional buttons while playing the Switch Online Nintendo 64 app, you have to like hold one of your triggers, like hold either ZL or ZR, and then use the A, B, X, and Y to be the directional buttons, and then let go when you need to use A and B. It's ridiculous. It's confusing. I know I already lost everybody here trying to explain it, but it's very complicated. So unless you have the new N64 controller that Nintendo put out for Nintendo Online, you're not really going to have a fun time playing GoldenEye on the Switch unless you like remap all your buttons. You could remap all the buttons and then you can play it kind of normally. But you could do it normally on the Xbox. But just dealing with all this like controller nonsense and like controller hype and everything like that, I just kind of wanted to ask you guys, like how you guys felt about your controller setups, like what was ideal for you, maybe what didn't make sense or something that was a little obscure for you. And one of the main questions that I remember asking Macky last week that I wanted to ask again was about controller rumble. And if it's important for your gaming experience, or can you live without it? Like if you play with a cheaper controller that doesn't have rumble, if it bothers you that it doesn't rumble, or do you prefer like the standard controllers now that do? So I just wanted to know, like what's like a good setup for you guys? Like what do you like? What do you dislike when it comes to like controllers, how they're set up, and the features they have?
You want me to go first or back?
Yeah, Shawny, if you want to.
I can go first because I feel like you're going to be a lot more in depth than me. So let me just get mine out of the way. So for me, one thing I do want to say first and foremost, the worst controller ever created was the Nintendo 64 controller.
Yes.
That shit looks crazy. I don't even know how I was able to play video games on that shit, to be honest. Thinking about it now.
Because with the middle one and the one on the right, just like
bro,
that.
It's crazy, bro. I really don't understand how we were able to play like Mario Kart or like Super Mario 64, any of those games, Pokemon Stadium. I mean, Pokemon Stadium, you didn't really move too much, but like, I really just don't understand how I was able to play games. But I just wanted to get that out of the way first. But as far as like for me, Rumble, I do appreciate it when I play games that are like fighting games. I think it adds a cool element to the game. When they introduced it, who introduced that first, PlayStation or Xbox?
No,
Nintendo had a Rumble
had
pack.
the Rumble pack for the
You put you chat
N64.
attached to the bottom.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
really?
it was an external
It
accessory.
went into that slot on the bottom of the controller.
Oh,
You
I
could
never
put a
knew that.
memory card in there. Yeah, you could put a memory card in there, or you could put a Rumble pack. I believe the Rumble pack required AA batteries.
Oh, okay,
Damn,
I never
Nintendo
knew
been
that.
scamming since the old days.
Yo, word.
I
But
just thought about that.
but so as someone that has gone from PlayStation, and this is like, I feel like everyone feels the same way, but or at least most people who have made the transition feel the same way. But someone who has mostly been on PlayStation for most of their life, that was the
Mhm.
game, the controller that we had. I can remember how many times we were playing a PlayStation game for hours. My hand starts to cramp up. My hand, like this part of my, I don't know what this part is
Your
called.
palm.
The palm. This is
That's
the
your
palm.
palm.
What at
That
the
whole
bottom?
thing is
The
your
whole thing.
palm.
All right, the
Yes.
bottom of my palm, like this area right here,
Would
would
hurt.
hurt from holding the fucking controller for like maybe after like an hour or so. And
This was for which PlayStation controller you remember
PlayStation
feeling this
2,
way?
bro, and the
The
low key the
DualShock
PlayStation,
2? The
yeah,
DualShock 2?
and the PlayStation 3 low key, bro, but
The
not as
six
much.
axis, the DualShock 3.
So like, and then making a transition from PlayStation 4, I believe was the last PlayStation I have, to the Xbox One. Um, the controller was just like a lot more, like it was comfortable. Like, of course, it's made out of plastic, so holding something that's plastic is not going to be comfortable for forever. But
Yeah.
it was a lot more comfortable than the PlayStation controller, and um, that's like one of the things that I rave about as far as like Microsoft and Xbox that have done. Like they have really been about the players. Not, of course, you know how they do Game Pass and everything, but they've really been about the user and
Experience, yeah.
the user experience. Like they want to make sure that you not only have like a big catalog to play from, but also a comfortable and enjoyable time that you'll never want to put down the fucking controller because like I even the newer ones that are a little bit smaller, those are
Mhm.
still just as comfortable as
Oh,
the
the series controllers. They're a
series
tiny,
controllers.
tiny bit
They're like a
smaller
little
than the
bit
Xbox
smaller.
One controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are even still comfortable to
Yeah,
hold
they
in my
are.
hand versus holding the new PlayStation 5 controllers because I've held those.
Oh,
And I
the
was playing PlayStation
DualSense?
5. Yeah, I was playing that shit the whole time I was in Nigeria. And I mean, my hand wasn't cramping up as much, but to form my hand the way that I would have to hold a DualSense controller versus the series controller is just
So
you could tell the difference.
let me ask you a question, right? Because the one of the main differences, there's a lot, but one of the main differences between Sony's Dual Sense now or the DualShock setup versus Xbox's controller has always been where they place the analog sticks, right?
Mm,
So on a series controller, right, on an Xbox controller, you have asymmetrical analog sticks. So the left stick is off up here where your hand would naturally rest at the top, right? Like where your palms are going to kind of like grip around the hand. So you have your face buttons and then analog stick and you're able to just use the camera whenever you need it, right? If you're going to use like the twin stick kind of setup. But with Sony's setup, Sony
they
has
put that
both
shit
sticks
down.
down at the bottom. So they're symmetrical analog sticks on Sony's setup. So when you went from symmetrical to asymmetrical, did that make a difference for you at all? Or did you notice or did you have a preference between the two?
I think looking back on it, I think it definitely I don't think I've really even noticed it until I started playing Xbox. Because I was someone who was a big PlayStation fan, and I used to shit on people who play Xbox because I was like, y'all niggas don't got no games. But I see why. I see why a lot of, and that was like when it was like the Xbox 360 or whatever.
The Xbox 360 was a very popular system.
Again, I was just a teenager who liked to talk a lot of shit, bro. I'm still the same nigga. But yeah, so I mean, I noticed it once I picked up like a Xbox One controller. It was just the way the controller is designed. Fuck how, I mean, not fuck, but just like.
Well, in regards to where the analog stick was, which setup did you find more comfortable for you to play? Did you like the asymmetrical better on the Xbox, or did you like the symmetrical sticks on the PlayStation?
Asymmetrical, because my hands are naturally up here,
yes,
not up here. So yeah, this is gonna feel better, and then I could always switch this down if I wanted to. But some games don't even require you to use this stick like that. So
depends, on what you're playing. Yeah. Okay.
I would say asymmetrical, because again, your hands naturally rest up here.
Yes.
Not down here.
Where you have to go like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever have like any controller growing up that you were just like, this thing is from hell and it needs to burn?
The Nintendo
the N64
controller, bro.
That was the only one that you were just like,
the only controller, because the Sega, the Sega Dreamcast controller was ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm. A little bulky, but it was still amazing.
It was bulky, and it reminded me of the N64 controller a little bit,
but like more ergonomic than the N64 controller.
Yeah, but the N64 controller was the worst. And then once they started, Nintendo just went off the rails. The motherfuckers did the N64 controller. Then they said, "Fucking controller. Let me just give these niggas a no." Then they had the GameCube controller. I said, "What
the GameCube?
The GameCube controller is one of the most iconic controllers.
One of the most comfortable controllers you will ever use.
I don't think so.
I can prove it to you. I have the Switch version of the controller.
I have the Switch version,
and I have the originals here too.
I have the Switch version too.
I got an original GameCube hooked up behind this divider right now. All right, like it's plugged in. It'll turn on. We could show you, but it's definitely a very, very comfortable. The setup on the GameCube controller is just unique. You know, the A button is right in the middle, exactly the button you're going to use most of the time when you're playing a Nintendo game, and then everything else kind of around it, and very easy to figure out positions. It had oh man, there's a word for it. I can't remember the word at the moment, but it had those triggers that are sensitive, where you like for a racing game, if you were gonna click slowly on it, you would slowly start to accelerate, and then as soon as you click adapt, no, is it adaptive triggers? I think is it.
Could be.
It might be adaptive trigger, something where it's pressure sensitive. So you can do a soft press and it'll respond to that, or you can do a
because
full
PS5
press.
has the haptic feedback.
That's haptic. They call it haptic. But it's something where, you know, you're able to actually gradually press the button and it receives the input versus like just pressing it down. And the GameCube controller had that. The GameCube controller is really cool. But yeah, then Nintendo just said swing the stick around. And that was the Wii.
The Wii. That's what I was getting to next. They gave They gave you motherfuckers a wand, because I didn't get the Wii. They gave y'all niggas the wand and said swing this stick around. Crazy.
I actually skipped the Wii generation also.
Good.
My parents didn't get me. I was already like getting older too, so it was like they just stopped buying me video game consoles. But yeah. So Shawny, did you wanna share some of your thoughts and opinions on comfortable and uncomfortable controller setups?
Yeah, sorry, Renji is being a pain in the A. Yeah, so Let's see where to start. So to piggyback off of Macky, I agree with him. The N64, in hindsight, was one of the worst controllers comfortability wise. I don't know. I agree with him. I don't know how the hell we were able to maneuver it back then. It's just probably as a kid you weren't really thinking about it and whatnot. But as an adult, I don't know how the hell it I don't know how that we did it. Um, excuse me. The Dreamcast controller, I love Dreamcast, one of my favorite consoles. It was yes, it was bulky, but it was ergonomically sound and it just felt very well. It felt very well put together. Um, I'm actually reverse compared to Mackie in terms of with the place. I was a Xbox head the whole time before I transitioned to PlayStation, and I noticed the difference between the two. I feel like the PlayStation controller was just lighter, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe because I just got used to it after a while. Hold on, Mac, talk for a little bit. Give me a second. I gotta hit this cat. Hold on.
No, you're not gonna hit the cat. You're going to,
Yo, I love
you're
it. Now we got proof that Ugo is not the only person that, you know,
that disciplines his
disciplines
animal.
cat. Yeah, it's like they be violent
No.
sometimes, bro. They really be
So
violent.
yeah, but
But
the Paradise podcast does not condone animal violence or cruelty.
no, we don't. We do not. We do not.
We do
We
not.
love our cats. I love my cat. I can only
Yes,
speak for myself. I love my cat.
He
But
was
so
verbally hit.
he
sometimes
For
was you
clarification,
gave him a very stern
yeah, they
talking
need
to.
that though.
yes.
Yes,
It's
because
Eh,
very
we don't abuse our furry
no,
friends. No, no, we do not.
no. He's verbally in his corner right now. Anyway, um, so let's see. So I was saying, yeah. So going back to what I was saying with Mac, he was saying how he was PlayStation transition to Xbox. I was reverse. I was
Okay.
Xbox, and I love the Xbox controller. I really loved it when they released the S version of it, which is
Hmm.
hilarious because now that's just the standard. Um, so the Xbox was very ergonomically sound, very comfortable
Oh,
and
you're talking
whatnot.
about the 360
The 360
controller, right? When they
was it
oh no, the
360?
original Xbox when
The
they made the
original
S
one, yeah, when
because
they made
the
the S.
original the Duke was just fucking large as hell for no reason. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Exactly. So that being said, I eventually transitioned over to the PlayStation controller, and it was just very light, very sound. I had no issues with it. And then my my kids, my frat kids, they got me for my Kasika gift. They got me a an Elite controller, the Elite Xbox controller,
Nice.
and I still use it, but I will say it is a big learning curve because it feels more hollow because it's so customizable, if that makes sense. It feels heavy, but not heavy, but it just feels like, I don't know how to explain. It feels more metal like. So it
Yes.
was just weird. The grips were nice and whatnot, but I'm still transitioning, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I still prefer to use the older one, the regular one, but not
Mhm.
gonna lie, like to try it out, you can add additional buttons on it. It's a little bit too complex for me personally because I don't
You
want to
don't like to
make it
switch it up.
exactly. I'm very simple. I like to just have my controller, but I'm a big fan of the PlayStation controller. Um, I will say one thing I do like about the PS5 with the haptic feedback,
Hmm.
if that's what it's called.
Yeah, that it is that you're correct.
So what's cool about it is I know it was Astro's Playroom when you first get your PlayStation 5, you get
That
Astro's
demo
Playroom,
game,
the
yeah.
demo. And you can essentially it's cool because they made the game to show you how you can utilize the PS5, the new DualSense features and whatnot. But that's just like a platformer game, so you'll notice it there. But
Hmm.
where I did notice that it made a big difference was Resident Evil 2. For Resident Evil 2 had came out, it
Hmm.
was for the PS4. And then they had released an update, I think last year, that you got a free upgrade to the PS5 version. And me with my big old backlog, I finally had Resident Evil 2. So I was, all right, let me prop it in and get the free PS5 upgrade.
The upgrade.
And it's amazing the difference it is because what's cool is, for example, in Resident Evil 2, when you get the shotgun, when you aim the shotgun, just to aim it and hold it, the trigger, the left trigger, the intensity increases. So think about it as like when you have the pistol and you shoot the pistol, it's light shots, easy tap, easy tap. But when you get the shotgun, just aiming the shotgun, you have to it's the trigger is pushing force against your finger. So now it's harder to bring it down like that. It feels like
Mhm.
you're really holding a shotgun. Even taking the shot, you take the shot, it's a kickback on the controller, but just to keep aiming it down, it's resistance essentially.
Yeah.
It mimics the real feel of the gun and whatnot. I know when some people play Horizon, just like when you are using a
The
bow and
feeling of the
arrow,
bow and
you
arrow.
when you're
Hmm.
cracking it back, your controller is vibrating and locking into it. So I love those additional features there. For me, it just
Hmm.
makes the game more realistic when it counts. They don't do it for every game, but when the game requires it in a sense, it
Yeah.
it matters in that sense. In regards to Rumble, I can't the most awkward thing is playing a game without Rumble now. I feel like I think every game has innovated Rumble in some way, shape, or form. If there's an explosion, your controller is vibrating. RPGs, the Rumble will match what's going on. What's the annoying feeling is when your controller is right about to die, it stops rumbling, but you continue to play. Like the Rumble feature shuts off. So when you're playing the game, imagine you're just playing it, your hand is just nothing.
There
You don't feel shit.
still.
It feels weird. It's like life just left the room and now it's just a cold, empty space. I don't know how to explain it. It's so funky to me. So I
So
love that.
you don't
I
like
know.
those controllers that are like the cheapy ones that you can plug in and but it doesn't have
No,
rumble or
I'm
something like that.
sorry.
Like no.
I got a wireless game. I got a wireless GameCube controller for my Switch when I play Smash. I need the Rumble feature. Like that is a
Oh
given.
yeah,
If I don't,
that one does that one have the rumble or it
I don't
doesn't
think
have the
it.
rumble? I
I
don't think
don't
it
remember if
does.
it does. I don't think it
I
does.
don't think it does.
But I noticed the difference that it just feels wonky not having that Rumble
Not
feature.
having the rumble.
It's just something about it. And speaking of which, in terms of ergonomics, when I first got my Switch, was it Dos Duos Ex Machina?
Deus
That
Ex Machina.
Yes, that one. So I played the demo with my Switch, and I played the Switch as is. Let me tell you, playing that demo of a game for an hour straight, my wrists were fucked up for like a week. So I said, "Oh hell no!" It hurt bad. I was like, "Yo, what the hell happened?" My girl, she's like, "Yo, like the Switch is just not ergonomically friendly." So
No, it's not.
I- it's not.
It is
So
not.
It's
what
very
I
flat. The Switch by
exactly,
itself, yeah, grab your thing. I'll just
yeah,
show the audience. The Switch by itself, the Joy Cons, they are very flat.
it's
So
not ergonomically friendly
you try
whatsoever.
you try to just hold this, you know, all day.
They
Yeah, no.
really make the worst controllers. Jesus Christ.
This is supposed to be something that you could turn on its side
Yeah,
and use it as a controller this way in order for two people to play on this thing by itself like that.
It sucks that
That's
way
why it
too,
does
though.
that.
It sucks that
ex-
way too, though.
no, but so what I did is I was doing some research. Just I watched some random Switch videos, and I
Hmm.
came across this company called Satisfy, and what they make, yes, the Zen Grip, the Zen. Well, the mine's is black, but the
Yeah.
Zen Grip is amazing because what it does, it adds an ergonomic feature to it. So now, if I want to hold my Switch, it's as if I'm holding a long controller. And
Yeah.
notice my hands are ergonomically sound now. So it's as if you taking a PlayStation, you took the edges off and you put it on the Switch. Now I can play it and I can play for long periods of time and it does not hurt whatsoever. And
No,
what's cool about it is it can stand. If you could just put it on your table, it'll just
you
stand
can't.
just like that if you want to
The,
watch it.
there's something else to notice about the Satisfy grip, Shawnee, that I don't think you mentioned. Is it the right grip is different than the left
Yes.
grip?
So the right grip is slightly lower than the left grip. So even with it, it's a nice feel on your hands. I don't know how to explain it. It's
It's
amazing though.
it's so that way when you're holding the switch, right? This hand, your thumb naturally
Mm-hmm.
rests up where the analog stick is. But if it was straight, it would be very difficult for you to go between the analog stick and the face buttons if you had to move up and down. So right hand is offset to the right just a little bit. So it's easy for your thumb to do this little motion right here and just switch back and forth between the right stick and the face buttons. Just slightly off to the right.
Yes, I swear by that thing has made my Switch game experience so much better. And I actually, because since it's huge, you have to get a case. So I bought the case with it as well.
I have the slim case.
So I had the slim
I
case,
got
but I gave it to
the
my
slim.
godson. Yep, but
I
I
got
used the
the bigger one too.
yeah, I got the bigger one. It's the best thing ever, and
How much does
and
that cost?
the Zen grip is like $30 now.
Yeah, something
If
like
you
that. I
get
think you can get it with the case for like 50 or something like
yeah,
that, or
like
60.
probably 650, 60. It's a set, but it's the best if you have anybody
Oh
who is
yeah, it's
a
fantastic.
if you have anybody who's a Switch person or even for yourself, I highly recommend it. It'll save your wrist so much pain and suffering.
It's great just to play it in handheld mode. That's something that you're playing your Switch, in your hands somewhere. You're definitely gonna want something like that so that you feel comfortable and you can play it. Like me and my wife bought my sister-in-law one of those grips for her Switch because she just exclusively plays her Switch in handheld mode. She's just not really like a TV dock kind of Switch player, and she will not take her Switch out of that damn grip. Like it was like one of like her favorite accessories to a video game console ever for her. Like she was like, yeah, no, I don't think I would have loved my Switch as much if I didn't have this thing.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
So
it makes a
it,
huge difference.
but like it does make sense though when you think about like controllers and whatnot. For me,
Mm-hmm.
I've learned the hard way. Ergonomics plays a big factor because if you're going to be gaming for an undisclosed amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
you want to make sure that your hands are comfortably sitting on the controller and whatnot. Between the PlayStation and the Xbox, um, I just feel like the PlayStation is lighter than the Xbox controller, but
Mm-hmm.
not significantly in a sense. But it's just when I go back and forth, you could definitely tell the difference. In regards to the control sticks, asymmetrical versus symmetrical, I really don't notice the difference. And I feel like if you have been gaming for a long time between both consoles, you really don't notice the difference. It's just a matter of how your buttons are mapped. Like if I zoom with the left trigger, it's the same feel on both the Xbox and the PlayStation. The only difference, again, between the PS5 is that with PS5, you get the haptic feedback. So when you play certain games, it's kind of just very cool how just cocking back to aim the shotgun in Resident Evil 2, I get more resistance, and just shooting it feels more difficult, but it just adds to the realism of the game and whatnot. And yeah, I think Rumble needs. If you make a game without Rumble, you're just a sicko at this
Yeah.
point.
I don't think they'll make the games without Rumble unless it's like a mobile game or something. Like that just didn't have that feature in it at all.
I don't know. I'm still
They
calling
put
it
a
a
lot of
sicko.
mobile games on Switch. I can imagine that you'd play a mobile game on your Switch and it wouldn't rumble.
Excuse me.
I mean, tell me in the comments below if I'm wrong and there is a mobile game on Switch that rumbles. Because I don't know. I don't know of any. I never played one. But that's interesting. How do you feel about texture on a controller? You know how like now some of the controllers that come out, they have like textured grips or they have like certain patterns around where you hold the controller to provide like extra like support and grip for people that like sweat a lot in their hands. Like how do you feel about having a controller that's textured?
Just wear some fucking gloves.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of weird. Gloves. I don't know. Gamer
Have
gloves
you
is
have you felt the Series X controller?
Yeah, I
yeah.
have one.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, it has like nice little textures, different
It
on the
has
backside of
Yeah.
texture
it.
around the grips, which is something that like the Xbox One controller didn't have like that, or at least not all of them did. Does something like that matter to your gaming experience? Would it make a difference, or like it doesn't make a difference at all? It could be smooth plastic, or it could be a textured grip.
I would say like yes and no. I feel like I don't mind it, but it doesn't enhance the gaming experience for me. I could see for someone else who likes controller. Not let me not even say likes controllers, but like has like is very particular about things, like whether they sweat a lot or they want to be comfortable or whatever have you. I
Mhm.
can see someone wanting to go out and get the velvet controller with like the padding on the back is velvet, so their hands are nice and small, soft and smooth or whatever. But for me, it's whatever, bro. I've been
That
playing
sounds
video
bougie.
games. That's what I'm saying. Like I think it's more of a bougie thing to me, to me. But
Okay.
because I've been playing video games since what, like 1990, 1986, and I've never been comfortable playing video games. It doesn't. At this point, my hands are like used to not feeling
Yeah.
comfortable, especially like I said again with a
Mhm.
PlayStation controller. Like I played PlayStation from 2001 to maybe 2019, bro. So almost like 20 years of just straight PlayStation. I've been feeling uncomfortable for years. It doesn't bother me at this point. It's too late for me. But I could see for like a newer gamer wanting to be comfortable. I could see for someone who is just getting into gaming, wanting those kind of things. I could see someone doing that. But for me, that shit don't really. It doesn't really phase me. It doesn't. It doesn't do anything for me.
Gotcha, gotcha. I got some examples here of like some of the controllers that I've enjoyed using recently. Um, one thing to avoid dealing with how goddamn annoying the Joy Cons are on the Switch. I did go ahead and buy a Pro controller that we've talked about already. This is the Splatoon 3 addition to Nintendo's Pro controller. So this is Nintendo's actual controller that they put out for the Switch. So it is a wireless controller. It charges USB C, and this one has Nintendo's HD Rumble, which is the equivalent of Sony's haptic feedback.
Mm.
They have HD Rumble in this and the Joy Cons, and these controllers also use NFC. So they have NFC readers in them so that they can read the codes in the amiibo figures. So, Shawny, you're a big toy collector, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you know about the
I
amiibo
have
world.
mine. Yeah,
Yeah,
those.
so
Mhm.
these controllers are designed to read those things and and to work seamlessly with the Switch. So anytime I'm playing my Switch, if it's not in handheld mode with the Satisfy grip, I'm using, if not this controller, I have another one that's all black that I was using with the other Switch we have in the house. Um, I'm using a Switch Pro controller. Um, I do like 8-bit Do's controllers that are kind of shaped like a Switch Pro controller, but I just don't have one of my own. Um, this is an extra Series S or Series X controller that I had bought when I bought my Series X. Um, these I enjoy the fact that the triggers are textured. It's a little, my light's a
Mm.
little bright and this controller's white, so you can't really see it that well. But the triggers have texture on them, and the back of the controller grip also has that textured pattern to it. Makes it really, really, really good to hold. The fact that the controller's not as girthy as the Xbox One version just makes this one just really nice, and it is lighter than the Xbox One controller. And I really love how now in the middle of this Xbox controller, they have a share button where you press it one time and it'll take a screenshot. You press and hold it and it will record a video. And then you can just upload directly. They also went for this like hexagonal D-pad pattern where these are really good for like fighting games and 2D platformers and stuff where you might be using the directional buttons for anything in particular. I might like this a little bit more than Nintendo's standard D-pad that they have on this controller. This isn't like the nicest D-pad ever. Um, but other than those, the one that I have loved with all my heart so far has been my Xbox Elite controller. So this is the Elite 2. Um, and this is technically an Xbox One controller. It's not a series controller. So this one is bigger to hold. I love the material that this one is made out of. The grips on the side are absolutely perfect. My hand never slips or anything. I don't feel clammy or sweaty or anything like that when I play with this controller. These also have hairline triggers in the
Mm-hmm.
back of them, so you can change how much travel you want your triggers to have. So if you're like me, I play a lot of first person shooters. I keep the travel on my trigger very short. I keep it at the lowest setting so I could just tap quickly. If you change that, then you're gonna have more of a travel, something more similar to like a full button press like that. So I like having those features. I also love having the back paddles. I usually don't change the back paddles from them being the stick inputs. So there are like some games where you have to click this stick. This might be a melee, or the other stick might be how you sprint or something like that. So I don't like clicking the damn controller in. It's such an annoying button to press. So I like these paddles on the back, and the elite controller allows you to have up to 4 paddles on the back, so you can see the empty spaces that I have there for the other paddles that I never use. So I just don't put them on there. And this controller would be absolutely perfect for me if it had a share button on it. If the middle button was a share button and not a function button, because you can have 3 different settings and you use this button to toggle through them, then it would be great. These are cool because you can take apart the D-pad. You can take off the analog sticks. I have removed the analog stick and I have used the taller one for better aiming in a first-person shooter. Um, just things like that, changing the D-pad depending on what kind of like 2D game that I might be playing. But for the most part, I keep it in this kind of setup. And I like to use this for everything I play on my Series X. And then whenever anybody else is coming over and is going to play a game, I give them a regular Series X controller. But this thing is great. The charging case that it comes with is fantastic. It makes it easy to just travel with your controller and charge it. When you put it in there, if it's plugged in, it'll charge. And I've really enjoyed using something like that. So like I looked at Sony's version of that. The Elite 2 controller is like I think like $175 or something like that. Um, and the PlayStation controller is $200. So PlayStation's controller is a little bit more expensive. But what PlayStation's has that's a little bit different is that like since the sticks are at the bottom, they made them modular. So if you wanted to just completely take out the entire component that is the analog stick, you can just remove it and replace it with a brand new one, because sometimes analog sticks drift or they have different issues and stuff like that. So if you're the type of person where, you really find yourself spending a lot of time with a console or using a controller to play on PC, because you can use these controllers to play on PC as well. Um, I like the option of having these more premium controllers. I've used everything from, all of Nintendo's controllers except the Wii, because I didn't use a Wiimote because I never had a Wii. Um, and I've just like Macky, I've used every PlayStation controller that has come out, because I had every PlayStation as well. And this is like my first, not my first, my second, because the Xbox One was my introduction. But like this is me now settling into liking the Xbox ecosystem. And I think that Xbox having the asymmetrical stick design is more comfortable for me. The only thing that I may not be too fond of is that Xbox controllers are very clicky.
I actually like that.
They're very clicky, right? Some
like
people
a
do.
typewriter.
It's tactile, right? It's very respond. You know that you push that damn button because of
That's
the way
why.
that it
That's
is.
why I like it.
And
That's
then
why I like it.
like Nintendo is like much softer, right? Something like that versus Something
yeah,
like
I want to hear that.
very
I
different.
want to hear that bitch squeak.
It's a click, but okay.
Whatever.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I've noticed that like Sony's controllers are also very quiet. The buttons are very soft. You could play that controller at night. Like I can't do this when wifey's asleep.
Oh yeah, Sasha's gonna
You know
kill
what I'm
me if she
saying?
hears that
Like
while I'm playing.
you that Xbox controller, that is a daytime only right there. Like, you can't use that at night. But there's a lot of like controller options out there now. Like Xbox allows you to design them. Like you can do the Xbox Lab stuff, and you can design your own series controller, or you can design like an Elite controller. They even have like a new version of the Elite controller that doesn't give you all of the accessories that the full Elite controller gives you. And I think it's a little cheaper. I think it's like 125 instead of 175 or something like that. But it's still a much cheaper buy-in for a premium controller than Sony's $200 option, right? Like that's the only option Sony has, is that $200 one. But it's like, I think
These controllers are getting too out of hand. Like
sometimes
the game itself costs, like the console itself already is like $500. You get one controller. A game is now $79 for the standard version. Like that's just for the standard
70,
version.
69 for
Right,
like standard versions.
$69,
Yeah.
$70 for the standard. If you want the complete edition, it's like 120. And now they're selling fucking controllers for $200.
PC gamers pay way more for less.
Yes.
Graphic cards go for them are like fucking 1,800.
Yeah, but that's
200 is like
that's a one-time buy, or once every
year.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it too. If you are a
they
PC,
switch. So wait, hold on, John. You telling me that they switch graphic cards every year?
If a new one drops the next year and has better
a
specs,
lot of
they
them do.
will.
A lot of them do. The
You
hardcore
so
ones,
what happened to
yes,
the
they will.
GTX shits last year? Listen.
It boils down to the price of multiple accessories for PC players also, because you have a large percentage of them that play keyboard and mouse. They're not just playing on any keyboard, any mouse. You're going to want to play with something that might be ergonomic for your hands, to do what it is that you want to do gaming wise. You might have a mouse that has extra fucking inputs on it. Just so that way, like, you can program it the way that you like, the certain mechanical keyboards that are easier for your fingers to press and locate the keys, not a flat, surface or something like that. Like, all of those things cost money. Really good keyboards are not cheap, and really good mice are not cheap either.
Yeah, y'all niggas got it, because I don't know, man. And I love video games, and I want the new PlayStation, right? But there's no reason why I got to take out a mortgage to get it. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Technically, the only one that offers financing is Xbox.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean,
Xbox All
it's
Access.
great. It's great because if you're someone that actually can, like, you're kind of like getting the game you want, and you're like helping your credit by paying that off. Which,
Yes.
if you look at it like that, that's a good deal. But it's like we shouldn't have to do that. Like, I don't think that.
But it's just an option for somebody that
But
might.
I don't even think it should be an option. I don't think
that people shouldn't be allowed to like pay it off little by little and take it home the day.
I'm not
one.
saying that layaway shit. It's layaway, bro. That's all it is. It's just layaway. I'm not saying
layaway, and they give you the product at the beginning of your payment instead of the end.
They give you the product when you do layaway. He
means with the Xbox, you can start the payment process and play immediately. With layaway, you have to wait till you pay it off before you can get the product.
Before they give it to you. Layaway, you always had to pay off the item in full before you could take it home.
Listen,
trust me, I used to work Kmart. They love layaway.
I used to work retail. I noticed.
That thing should not be an option. That's all I'm saying. It shouldn't be an option that games are costing like, just for me to play a game is almost $1,000.
Yeah, because the technology. We want things to look so good and play so well and do a million things, and we're all hypercritical of our games. So you want the best experience, you have to shell out the money for it. I mean, that's the reason why Nintendo is as popular as they are, is because they're still a staple in the video game industry at the lowest price point. If you really, 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 really want to start playing a Nintendo Switch right now, you could buy a Switch Lite for $199.
So there are
You know, like
options.
it's just they have the lowest price point that you can buy in to start playing games that are coming out right now. And most of their games are highest $60. We know that the Breath of the Wild sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, is going to be a $70 release. But the highest you're going to spend on a Switch game is like $60. Most of the time, everything in the eShop is on sale if you catch a good time and you get stuff on sale. And
Yeah,
plus,
that's only non-Switch games. You know, like that'll
like
be on sale.
Nintendo, you're saying? Like Nintendo
Yeah,
games, Nintendo
non-Nintendo
exclusive. Yeah, because
non-Nintendo. Yeah,
Nintendo's gonna charge you for Nintendo shit. That's just how
like
they are. But
I mean, I
it's
get it.
still cheaper to buy a Nintendo console right now and one Nintendo game to go with it than it would be for you to buy one of their competitors' console by itself. Is all I'm saying. So
Yeah, but
you
there
have
are
a
downfalls in that cheapness. You know, if you get a Switch
I
Lite,
I get that, but I'm
He's
saying
just saying that Nintendo
no,
just
I
makes
know that.
markets that.
I know what he's saying. I
yes,
hear
that
him.
they
I
they
hear him.
they, they meet that need in the market, right? So like, yeah, you might be frustrated that all of these accessories like controllers and headphones, remotes, and all types of shit that go with with these consoles, they're getting a lot more pricey and kind of out of hand. But it's just kind of keeping up with technology. I mean, if you want the best television to play it on or the best monitor to play it on, you could get something inexpensive in HD, or you can get something more expensive in 4K. So it's just kind of like there's options for everybody out there. um but I think one thing we can all agree on is that the Joy-Con is just not comfortable. It's incredibly uncomfortable and is definitely a really tough design on Nintendo's part. And Joy-Cons were fucked up, man. I had to do analog changes, like analog stick changes on my Joy-Cons in the past. I've had to open them up and change the analog stick on the inside. I've even broke a Joy-Con once. I completely broke the R button off of the motherboard, and at the time did not have a soldering iron to put it back. But now I do have a soldering iron. I wonder if I can't put it back.
Yeah,
But
hopefully we get a video of that.
if it works, if it works.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so that I was just curious to know how you guys felt about your current controller experience, because controllers are getting crazy, right? They're giving us so many options and so many different ways to play our games. But I'm just curious to know if most gamers or casual gamers care that much about these features or care that much about these things, or is it just something where the standard controller that comes with your console is good enough, and you just use it until you need a new one, I guess. So I guess everybody.
No, wait. Say that. Say that one more time. You went in and out on my end. I apologize.
No, so you are you more comfortable with the controller that comes in the box, or do you see yourself looking for something that has a little bit more available to you?
No, I'm good with the one that comes in the box. It's fine.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Gets the job done.
It's fine,
I've
bro. Like,
I've I've come to even just stick with it.
yeah,
I like its simplicity just works well for me.
yeah. I'm good with the one in the box. The only system that I would buy like a brand new controller for would be the Switch. That would be the only one, and that's only because um, the slip off, whatever you call them shits, the slip off controllers.
The Joy-Cons
Yeah, they stink. So I would only replace
to
because I
play it
have
on the
I have
TV.
a I have a Switch controller that I actually got from my old job. I have three different ones. I have a GameCube one. I have one that like has the panels on the back. Damn,
The
I wish I
paddles,
was
yeah, the back paddles.
the back paddles, and then I have like an actual Nintendo Switch
The Pro
um,
controller,
Pro controller. Yeah,
the black
uh,
one.
the black one. Yeah, you seen
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then so the only one I would get would be like the retro one because I've been wanting that one for a minute,
Which
and
one?
then probably the Sega, no, the Super Nintendo one.
The Super Nintendo one.
I would get that one, and then just for aesthetic reasons, and then I would also get what's that other one? I would replace the Joy Cons, and then I'm never buying any other accessory for that shit again. I need to replace those Joy Cons because I cannot stand it, bro. That is the worst.
It's messing
I
with you.
I really that's why I don't play it in handheld because of the Joy Cons because they suck.
Yeah.
So and that may be why I don't play it as often because
Hmm.
I bought the Pokemon game 2 days after it came out. I have played only 15 minutes of that game.
Yeah, no, you're missing a lot of game. It's not a bad game. It's just runs like horse shit.
It's not a bad game. It just stinks.
It just stinks really bad, but it's not a bad game. Underneath the pile of shit that they served us
Underneath the shit,
is a good game.
it's a pretty
Underneath
good
the shit
game.
is a good game. Yep, they just didn't clean the shit off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Well, I appreciate you guys listening to me ramble on about controllers that I like, and sharing your controller experiences with me and the audience. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up because we definitely did sit here and talk about controllers for an hour. So this was a decent topic. So yeah, thank you guys for your input. Don't worry, Macky, I won't make you play GoldenEye with an N64 controller.
I was never gonna play GoldenEye in the first place. That game stunk to me.
If you come
Oh,
through the
Lord.
crib,
I played it on the 64.
we'll play some GoldenEye on the Xbox because it has to be couch co-op because you can't play online with Xbox's GoldenEye, only Nintendo's.
I
But
have Nintendo
Nintendo
though.
says
I have,
you have the expansion pass, right? Because you
yeah,
play you
we spoke
yeah, but
about.
you're gonna have to remap the buttons. This is what I was saying. You're gonna have to you could try it. You could try playing it the way that Nintendo left it for you, but I promise you, you're not gonna have a good time. You're gonna turn
This
that
is
shit the
what.
fuck off.
This is what. No, but I mean, I have to do that on any controller I have.
For the Nintendo version,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. But you can only remap Nintendo controllers. So you can remap the Joy-Cons or you can remap your Pro controller, but that's it.
Oh my god.
In the controller settings on your Switch, they give you a remap feature. You can change the buttons on your controllers however the fuck you want, anytime you want, and play any game you want that way with a Nintendo controller. But I'm just saying, if you want the pictures, I saved them from Twitter of the way people set
Yeah,
up their
just drop them in
Joy-Cons
the
and their Pro controllers,
drop
just
them
so
in.
that way, yeah, I'll send them. So that way you can remap your buttons and you can play GoldenEye normally. But I'm just telling you, me personally, I'd just rather play it on Game Pass.
Yeah, but we can't play online.
We can't play online on Game Pass. No,
I want to play it online, bro. I'm never home. And when I'm home, you're working. So
that's
or
true.
you're with your family. So the only time we'll be able to play is online.
Is online, so we'll have to set it up. I'd rather race you in Mario Kart than try to figure out.
I'm waiting, man. Niggas been ducking me, bro.
I'm waiting for people to play Scott Pilgrim with me, but that's neither here nor there.
What? Yo, shut the fuck up. I bought this fucking game and niggas don't want to play with me, bro.
I've been waiting for you guys. I can't fucking finish it. I'm stuck. I haven't gone. I haven't progressed.
All right.
So I'm waiting on you.
All right. I didn't bring my Switch this week. Next week,
okay.
I'll bring my Switch so I can play it when I get out of work. We can play.
Okay. We will
on a
figure
Wednesday.
it out.
I know that's going to get free.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. I got you.
We can do that.
I got you.
All right.
I brought my Xbox this week
It's okay. It's okay. Don't freak out. You can play 2K all week this week. FIFA this week. Oh, okay. Yeah. Look, you heard that, Shawny? He's switching it up.
Listen, bro.
Pass.
I literally bought Mafia 1, 2, and 3 to stream it, but I haven't had a chance. Every weekend I'm home. I'm doing something. This weekend
you're a real busy guy. You're traveling all over the world. You know, selling ice to Eskimos.
The United States. Don't listen to these.
He's out there. He's out there selling ice to Eskimos. He's selling all types of shit, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy.
End this fucking
all around the world.
End this shit, bro. Oh my gosh.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Thank you guys for being here with us. If you made it all the way to the end of the episode, we love and appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for being here. Once again, if you are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. Let us know how you feel about controllers. Do you like PlayStation setup better? Are you more of an Xbox setup kind of person? Do you prefer clicky buttons, quiet buttons, things like that? Let's have some discussion and debate down in the comments about how we like to play our games nowadays. And if you're listening to us on Anchor, there's a way for you to donate to the podcast. It's a really unique feature there. Anchor is a good place to listen and create podcasts, so go check that out. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Discord, the whole nine. Everything is there. You can find us and hang out with us on our socials. And yeah, that's it. Share this video with friends and family who like video games and anime, because that's all we talk about. And that's all the time that we have for this episode. We're gonna catch you guys on the next one. I'm outies.
Gang. Why does it like a